Craftin' buddies, it's Late Night Lori on take 2. I'm not sure if my first video was blurry or not. It was on my view, so I'm a little later than normal. I apologize for that. Let me get my iPad kind of booted up here. It looks a little bit better now, so I can see if anybody's joining me live. I am sorry I'm late. I was with my husband. We were at a baseball game out of town with family, and there were storms coming through, and we got caught in them, leaving the field, but then driving home. I love lightning storms, and that's what we had. So some thunder and lightning, and it was pretty wicked though. So I am not doing the card I had originally planned because I don't have all of the parts and pieces thought. Now it looks like my video is getting blurry again. I can only imagine it's because of the storms. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to power through, and maybe it's just temporary. I don't know. We'll see. These are the cards that I showcased last night, and this cute little caddy. This is done with the notes and totes. And this is just with the Mediterranean Blooms. The Mediterranean Blooms is paper that is on the last chance list. So it's currently reduced in price. I think normally it's like $12.50 and now it's marked down to $11.25. Once it's gone, it's going to be gone. So I apologize if the screen is not in focus. What I'm seeing on my iPad here is showing not in focus. My camera shows that it's crystal clear. So I'm just going to power through. I'm going to do a really quick card here using just some scraps from the Mediterranean Blooms, and I'm hoping maybe it's just a weather thing where I'm not seeing a good picture, and maybe where everybody else is seeing a good picture. So I am going to just start with Darling Duckling. No, this should be Daffodil Delight. 8.5 by 11 base, and it's 8.5 by 11. I scored it 4 1/4, and then I cut it at 5.5, so I have 2 bases ready to go. I'm just a little distracted because I was hoping the blurriness would go away. All right, so this card originally we did with Creativity Now, which is a demo only event. And it doesn't matter if you're a hobby crafter, you know, if you join just for a hobby to get a discount, if you want to have a community of crafters that you play with from time to time, or if you want to build a business, doesn't matter. If you join, there are some perks, and some of these virtual and in-person events are included in those perks. So this was a layout from that. We used different paper, but it was very similar to this. So this first layer here that's in cloud cover here on my sample, I am actually going to use in our basic white. And this is 3.5 by 4 3/4. So we're going to lay this out here. And then I pulled in a piece of old ivory. And this is 3 1/4 by 4.5. Excuse me. So that's going to go here. And then we've got this designer series paper. Now this is from the gallery. This is from the Beautiful Gallery paper. So you can use pretty much any designer series papers you have. And basically all you need is a 3 by 3 piece. So you could make 4 cards out of this. So if we go 3 by 3, and I'm going to be brave and daring and try to cut these at the same time. All right, you will have enough for 3 cards. Now this looks like a really small piece, right? All right, and it kind of is, but it works. So what you want to do is we're going to make 3 strips here that are each an inch. So I want to turn it sideways and do 1 inch, and I'm looking over on this side, and another inch, and that leaves us an inch, right? So we've got our 3 inches. Let me take these off in order. And basically that goes there, all right? And then we have a piece of white for our sentiment. Now, the card that I'm doing tonight, I'm using a 1 inch strip. I think this one from the sample was a 3/4 inch by 3, all right? So that's how easy that card is to make. But I am using the Mediterranean Blooms. So again, let me move these out of the way. I'm using a 3 inch by 3 inch square. And this was just a piece I had that kind of had a design on it. All right. So I trimmed it to 3 by 1 3 times. Let me just lay this out. And I'm going to put one of them up here. And I'm going to put one of them down here. And we're going to put the next one here. And then my sentiment piece, I'm actually using as 1 inch by 3 because I like my pieces the same size. All right. This one, I'm not sure why the sample had it smaller. Maybe just so it had more of a frame around it. I don't know. But I like this one. All right. So that's what I'm going to do. So let's go ahead and glue these really quick. And I am going to pull in, I've got a couple of these flowers that I fussy cut from the paper. So let's just start putting this together and then we'll call it a night. The screen is still blurry on my end, so it's probably because of our storms. I'm not too worried about losing power because we do have a generator, luckily. So that'll pick up the pieces for us and give us power if that should go out. And then we're going to go ahead and put this one on. Now you could use some dies to cut out these pieces depending on what you have as far as graduated shapes. You could use the banners if you have the banners. There's so many possibilities, and you can do this pretty much with any designer series paper you have. It doesn't have to be something that you purchase special. We all have some stash, I imagine. Not that we're hoarders, we just have a lot of creative options at our fingertips, right? So I am a fan of the Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue because it gives me some wiggle room. I think I picked up a different bottle of glue here. It's not flowing quite as easily. But I do like using the liquid glue because I can shift it around if I don't have it centered quite right. And then I can let it set once I'm happy with where it is. If your layer of glue is too thin, sometimes it sets a little faster and it's more difficult to shift it. And if you have too much glue, you're going to have it oozing out and you're going to have a mess. And that's why a lot of people don't like the Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue. And I'm going to use, I think, a sentiment from the Textured Notes. We'll see if this fits. It might just fit. So let's go ahead and put this on a block. And I am going to get early espresso because there's a little bit of brown in there. And if the picture is blurry and you don't want to sit through all of this, if it hurts your eyes, which I can only imagine it probably does, I will post these cards on my Facebook page, which is Lori's Little Bit of Crafting also. And if you've done one similar to this, or if this inspires you, feel free to add a comment to the post with a picture of what you've made. All right, so we're going to go ahead and glue this down. Actually, I think I might put that up on dimensionals. What do you think? Let it stand out a little bit. Why not? Why not? And then we'll need to figure out what kind of bling we want to add, and we'll call it a night. Sometimes these things happen. I tried to go on at 11:55 p.m., which is later for me than what I'm normally late. And it was blurry, so I started over. And when I started this one, it looked all right, and then it got blurry. So again, I'm sorry for that. Kind of out of my control. I've got these little flowers that I fussy cut from the designer series paper. I'm just going to attach those randomly here. And you maybe saw that I used my Take Your Pick tool with the cap on the putty end. And I just pressed them into my palm so that they got a little shape to them, a little dimension. And we are going to find some embellishments. Those aren't quite the same yellow. I mean, it would probably be fine. This is Darling Duckling, where this is yeah, Daffodil Delight. So let me see if I can find something else that trips my trigger. Something else. I have a lot of options, so we just have to figure it out. Maybe we should just use some rhinestones. That might work. We could put a couple of rhinestones in the center of these little flowers here. And maybe just a couple others randomly placed. And I like to do them in odd numbers because it kind of draws your eye around your card, is what they tell me. So I've got the couple of flowers. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So 3, 5, or 7 is what I usually do. And then on the inside, we'll just put a layer of white, maybe with some old olive behind it. But I can finish that another time. All right, so here's what we started out with. This is all you need for designer series paper. All right, so three by 1 inch strips rather, in whatever designer series paper you decide. And that's it, quick and easy. All right, so that took me not even 15 minutes to chit-chat my way through it and make what is a very fun card, I think. So let's take a look at maybe these and see how it would look if we made these 3 inches by 1 inch. And then let's do 2 of these, 3 inches by 1. And then we still have some scraps for another card. So we could do this. And then let's find a sentiment strip. Let's see if this is 3 by 1. It's a little wider than 1 inch, so let's just make it 1 inch. And then let's see if I got Let's try some Daffodil Delight for a layer. Night of Navy and White. Just so we can see the different colors, how it works. Sorry, I didn't have these all grabbed. It's been a weird night. So let's say we do a Night of Navy base. Burnish this. And a white layer. So I need that one to be, I forgot what it was, 3.5 by 4 3/4. Yep, 3.5 by 4 3/4. So that can go there. And then the layer of Daffodil Delight will be, I think, 3.25 by 4.5. 3.25 by 4.5. So that'll go there. And you could have it centered, you could have it off-centered. You could have it moved over here and put some ribbon on it, which might be kind of fun. But I'm gonna stick with this side here. And then if we just put these here, we could probably do 3 different designs of that blue. Let's see what that looks like. 3 by 1. We'll take a peek. That might be fun. Kind of looks like some tile. All right, and we would put some embellishments on that as well. So see how easy that is, just using up some of your scraps. All right, so that's all I'm gonna try to fight through tonight. Sorry if it's still blurry. It's looking a little better on my screen, but I think it's still blurry. So I will post these on my Facebook page, Lori's Little Bit of Crafting. You can go see the unblurry versions of them there. And then tomorrow, hopefully, I will do the card that I was really planning on for tonight. So thanks for popping in. Sorry it's not better video quality. And we'll try again another time. Sometimes that happens. So happy crafting.